Hi all, Karthik here from Design School by Wpalgoridm. In this video, I want to show you a way in which you can add to favorites or a wishlist button to a page and then access all those favorite posts, pages or basically any post types in another page. And this is all possible with Elementor and a powerful plugin for Elementor called Dynamic Content Plugin. If you don't have Dynamic, you can get it from the link in the description. So this is how it's going to work. So I'll just create two pages, two sample pages. You can create any number of pages you want. I'll skip all this. I'll call this my favorite page. So let's say I want to favorite this page and I'll click on edit with Elementor. This is a WordPress page but not Elementor page because I want users to access this page on the front end. So I created a WordPress page. You can create an Elementor page and import a template. That's a different thing, but we'll just create a WordPress page and it's called my favorite page. Let's have some design. You can have anything you want. And this add to favorites button can be accessed across each and every page and post by using this button as a part of your single post, single page or singular template, which we'll discuss in a bit. But for now, we'll just focus on one page and we'll see how the page can be favorited and bookmarked, and later we'll apply it to all of the pages and posts on our website. As you can see, I just imported this particular template. So this page is all this template, and I'll just create a section above this. I'll click here, create a new section. I'll click on the plus button. I'll search for add to favorites, and it's this one by Dynamic Content Plugin. It has the dynamic logo. Click and drag it onto the section. And this add to favorites button has three options. The first one is cookie, the second one is user, and the third one is global. We'll discuss cookie first. So when you click on add to favorites and when you choose cookie method, this will be saved as a cookie. Cookie is a special kind of storing your data, right? And if you clear the cookie, the data will be gone. So this is just to have the data stored temporarily. So let's say I picked cookie for now, and you can create as many lists. So basically you can save this across various lists, and it has a default list called my favorites. So we'll settle with this, and this is really important. The key and the title, it doesn't matter what it is. You can also add an icon to this just to identify what kind of post this is. And here you have an option to let users remove the favorited post. I'll have this toggled on. I'll also use Ajax. So by using Ajax, you don't have to necessarily refresh the page to see the changes. All the changes, as soon as I click the button, the post is favorited, and if I click the button again, it's removed and it's all dynamic without reloading the page. So that's what this Ajax does. You can set cookie expiration, so when this cookie will be invalid, and once the cookie is invalid, all the data stored in the cookie will also be destroyed. I'll show you that in a bit. You can choose if cache is enabled, but yeah, you can also choose a counter. Anyway, so we have this setting over here, and the key is my favorites. Now we need a page to display the favorited posts, right? You're favoriting it here, but you need a page that can retrieve this favorited page or post. So in order to do that, I'll just create another page called favorites. You can actually use this method into a single user design. So whenever user views his dashboard or his own page or authored page, he'll see all his favorited posts. So I'll just call this page favorites, and I'll just click on edit with Elementor. It'll take us to Elementor interface. Again, this is also a WordPress page because I want users to access it from the front end. You can actually link to this in your header or in your maybe dashboard, wherever you want. So a page is created. Now you need a widget called views, and this is also supplied by Dynamic Content Plugin. I'll just click and drag this off. Now as soon as drag in the views widget, it lists some of the default posts, and we want to retrieve posts. Pages are also a kind of posts. You can select the skin from here, so you can maybe have a table, you can have a list, so list of items like that. You can have an ordered list or unordered list, so all the posts are displayed like that. And here you can choose the template in which this should be displayed. By default, these tokens are applied and the template is displayed based on this. You can also design a dynamic template, so you can design an Elementor template and then select that template, so the data, each of the list item will be formatted in that manner. We'll get to that in a bit. We've did that before using dynamic content. You can display the count here, so it will show you how many pages, how many items are there. I'll remove this, and this is really important. So this is what will retrieve our favorite pages from our favorited page, right? So I'll hit publish from here. We still didn't favorite this, but we'll favorite it in a bit. So I'll just click on add item, and from here so it's this one. I'll choose this. So all the posts are then filtered by their ID, and we'll choose the operator. And so we're trying to retrieve the data from the cookie, so you need to choose in from here. So in will look into something from here, whichever you enter here. I'll click here, I'll choose dynamic token. We're basically retrieving the data stored in a cookie, so we need to get the cookie from here. So I'll use wizard mode, I'll use this. The field is nothing but cookie, and the subfield is, so within the cookie we're trying to get this item. So whatever label you've entered here, the key, this is what you should enter. Just enter that. Now nothing shows up here because we haven't favorited this page, but once we favorite the page, it will get the page by this criteria. So the token again is cookie, and the cookies subfield is my favorite. So within the cookie we are getting this particular field, right? You can choose and from here, or it doesn't matter. Since we just have one condition, this is not really that important. I'll update this. Now let's see if our logic is working or not. I'll refresh the pages. So this is my favorite page which I want to favorite, and this is favorites page, which will basically display all my favorited pages or posts. And since this is a page, we need to change the criteria. So the post type from here, so from, we have to select posts and pages, and if you're adding this button to your custom post types, you have to select all those post types, but we'll just limit this to posts and pages for now. I'll update this. So that's really great. Now the favorites page is empty because we didn't add anything. I'll hit add to favorites. Now we've favorited this. Since we're storing this in the cookie, it will be accessible as long as the cookie is active. Since I have a cookie set, and just like that, the page that I favorited, which is essentially my favorite page, is displayed here. Now watch what happens if I try to clear out history. So I'll click on show full history, and I'll try to clear browsing data. It'll also log me out of website, so that's a different thing. I'll select cookies here. I'll click on clear data. Now since we chose to store the favorites data in cookies, as soon as the cookies are destroyed or when the user is actually viewing in the incognito mode, this is gone. As of now we have it, we didn't change anything here, but as soon as I refresh the page or reload the page, that is gone because we just cleared out all the cookies, and it's essentially storing this information in a cookie. Even though we favorited it, since the cookie was destroyed, the list is gone. So that's how the cookie method works. This is for one page, right? That's really great. Now we'll go to the add to favorites page. We'll choose user this time, and based on the user field, chosen here. There's additional visitors button, so you can force them, or you can actually hide the button for non-logged in users. Or for non-logged in users, by users I mean whichever users are created by using this. Since I cleared out my cookie, I'm logged out of my website. I'll log in again. So all the users are here. So if the user is not logged in, you can force login to him. So that's what this means. Or you can simply hide this button for non-logged in users, which is a better way to do it. So I'll just hide this button for a non-logged in user. Now how do you retrieve it from by saving it as user? So when you save it, when you choose user from here, it's saved as a part of user metadata. So it's accessible by a slightly different token, and we'll go to where criteria again. And this is post ID, and in places it should be ID, so you have to be using this. And in value, we'll not use a cookie because we changed a method. We'll use a different token, and the token is by using user metadata. So you have to say user colon and the name of your key, and the name of my key is my favorites, which I can get from here. And this is the key, the same key basically, which we used to get cookies as well. So user colon my favorites will get that. I'll update it just like that. When I used user colon my favorites, it's showing my favorited page. Since the favorites button that we configured should also work with posts, I'll add a new post. I'll call it new dynamic test. Let's add some Gutenberg stuff. Maybe I'll add an image. I'll use media library. I'll insert an image. I'll publish this. I'll click on edit with Elementor. Don't worry, you can paste this button, this configured button, into your single page or single post template. So whenever you create a new page or post, this button will always be there, so that the users, logged in users, can favorite their thing. I'll change the design a bit, or design really doesn't matter. So we copied the favorites button from here. Just right click and copy the widget, and I'll paste it. I'll right click here and I'll paste the widget right there. I'll update it. Now let's go to our posts. We'll view the post on the front end. It's this one. I'll view it on the front end, and this is the post. I'll click on add to favorites. Now the favorite should reflect in our favorites button, favorites page. I'll click on view. Since the favorite has the views widget, which is getting all the favorited posts and pages, just like that you have the previously favorited page, which is my favorite page, and the latest favorited post, which is this latest post that we just created. So this button can be configured. Since we configured this to work with pages and posts, it'll work whenever you put this into any page or post. You can actually configure this to work with wherever you want. So within from, if you want to maybe work with custom post types, you have to select those, so that this button will also work from there. So this button will retrieve the data from those pages or posts. Now you can copy the configured add to favorites button from your page. So it's this one. I'll copy. You can create a single page or single post layout. I'll click on edit with Elementor. So you can create a single page or single post layout and apply it to all the pages and posts, and you can copy this button into that layout. So whenever a new page or a post is created, this design is also applied to them, and just like that you see the design already there. I already pasted that. I'll remove this from here. I'll paste the button again. Since this post was already added into the design, it's reflecting over here. I'll align it onto the center. So add, maybe you can add it using this color, And remove, maybe you can use a red background color, so that way it's more visually clear. So I added this button as a part of a singular template, and this applies to each and every new page and post created. Let's create a new post. I'll click on add new. Now I don't have to manually go and paste the button everywhere. I'll call it we'll add some content. I'll add a gallery using Gutenberg, pick some images, and I'll publish. So once the post is published, I can click on view post. Since we added the button into the single post template or single page template, you can see the button over here. I'll click on the button. Now even this page is added to the favorites page. So you can view the favorites page, and even this button will be appearing there. So this is the page where we have that views widget. I'll click on view, and just like that, the new page that we created is also added to the favorites page. So no matter which kind of, I'll remove it from here. It's Ajax. I'll refresh this. Now you won't see the supercharged WP post in this list because we've removed it, just like that. So this button, or you can simply drag the button itself into the single page single post layout, or if you want to apply this button to every custom post type, you can create a template and apply it to all singular pages or posts. That's what I did. Or you can use dynamic template system. It doesn't matter what kind, where you put this button. And the same thing with the views widget, which we configured earlier. Now I'll make few minor changes to our favorites page, which is essentially collecting all the favorited posts and pages and displaying in the form of a list. The first thing is I'll click on settings cog, and I'll change it to Elementor full width, so that way it will not be getting this design which we define for all single pages and posts. Since this itself is a page, it might get the design if you change it to default. So you have to switch this to Elementor full width if you want independence from that design. I'll also add a heading over here. I'll say your favorites. I'll just align it onto the center, make the text a bit bolder. So something like that. And we'll also change the look of these posts. So I'll create a template. So I'll create a page. I'll call it dynamic favorite or dynamic fave. So instead of having this list like design, we'll have a better design. I showed this while using the post loops and the archive sliders using dynamic content plugin. We'll essentially do the same. We'll create a new section. We'll drag the dynamic widgets that we want. I'll create a new section, give it a minimum height, and I'll add a background. That let's drag the dynamic widgets over here. So the title, I want my title over there, and the color should be this. And apart from title, what else do we have? We also want content right under that. So if you don't want content, you can remove this. If you have featured image, maybe you can use that as well. You have to use dynamic widgets, by the way. I'll use featured image. So the title and the featured image will be shown there. I'll align featured image onto the left. I'll update this design. So we created a template to display the loop items, and the loop items are these. I'll click on our favorites page. Now I'll click on skin. Doesn't matter what you select here. So instead of this text, I'll choose a template. I'll update this. I'll also change the skin to grid, and I'll select a template, and the template name is dynamic fave, right? We have to refresh this page since this page doesn't know that this exists. So I'll reload this page again. So I'll reload my favorites page again. We use render templates to format our loop items the way we want. So I created a design for the loop items of the favorites. I'll use navigator. I'll click on the views widget, click on select, and the template name is dynamic fave, and it's this. See that? Now all the pages are appearing over there. Since we didn't set a featured image, the featured image is not shown. So you can format it the way you want. So dynamic fave. Now you can choose the skin as well. So you can maybe list it as a table or something. So something like that. We'll try adding featured image to hello there WP post, and it's this. I'll click on edit, and by editing it, you're essentially doing it the Gutenberg way. But when you click on edit with Elementor, you go to Elementor interface. I'll click on featured image. Let's pick a featured image for it. I'll update this. Now the favorites page will also be updated. Let's reload this, or you can view it on the front end, it doesn't matter. So we edited hello there WP page, and just like that, the featured image that we added also appears in the design. So hello there WP has the title and the featured image. So this design, it's essentially deriving it from this template. We created a template and we chose it over here. If you don't want this random formatting, you can design a template visually and put all the dynamic items. I showed this while designing archives and loops, and essentially you design a loop and format it the way you want. So this is how you design, add your wish list button or add to favorites button in WordPress using dynamic content for Elementor. That's it for now. Hopefully you guys understood that cookie has an expiration date. So when the cookie gets deleted, all the information is lost. Whereas if you save it as user metadata, it will be there for every logged in user, and for every logged in user, it will be different based on what they favorite. So this is how you create a wish list in WordPress. It's quite simple. Hopefully it made sense. If it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.